There's a joke in my house and at the office as well that I'm the kind of person that loses things a lot. In fact, Eddie joked about the fact that when we were deciding who was going to do which video for life groups, that I got chapter 4 in Tish Warren's book, Liturgy of the Ordinary. I got the chapter on losing keys. I think it's great because she talks about her experience that mirrors mine in many, many ways. And she talks about the experience of losing her keys, and she talks about the stages of searching for lost objects in her house. I wanted to read some of them to you. Stage 1, logic. I retrace my steps. I look in the places that make sense. I breathe. It's going to work out fine. I'm going to find my keys. It won't be too much time. Stage 2, self-condemnation. As I make my way through the house, I realize that I'm such an idiot. I'm always losing my keys. Where did I put my keys? Stage 3, vexation. I'm getting frustrated. I'm cursing. The second passes. Every second that passes by gets me slightly angrier. I'm angry at my husband. I'm angry at my children. Who lost my keys? It wasn't me. Surely it was somebody in the house. God knows where I must have left my keys. That's not helping. I'm experiencing a mild crisis. Stage 4, desperation. I'm looking everywhere, even in places that don't make any sense, even in places where I haven't been in weeks. I look up in the attic. I look in the freezer. I'm looking all over the place. Last ditch effort is stage 5. I stop, I pray, okay, I breathe again, I calm down, I ask God for restoration of perspective. And then stage 6 sets in, despair. I give up, I plop down on the couch, I will never find my keys again. The cause is hopeless, I'm hopeless, I'm trapped in a world in which I'll never find my keys. And then I pause. Apocalypse sets in. There's an unveiling, an uncovering of the reality of what's going on. And the reality of what's going on, Tish Warren says, is that I love control. That my search for my lost keys is a sign of the general anxiety that I have about my life, that I'm not in control, that I sometimes fail and mess up. She uses this as an example of the ways in which not only we lose our keys, but sometimes we lose our temper, we lose our cool with those around us. There are many times in which instead of getting upset with ourselves and others, we simply need to pause and be honest before God about who we are and who we're not. She uses this as a way into a conversation about confession. One of the things that Tish Warren wants to do is to put our ordinary daily life up against some of the basic practices of Christian worship. And one of the basic practices of Christian worship is the practice of confession, simply being honest with God about where we are and where we're not. You can do that in any number of ways, but one way to do that is simply to ask God to show you some things in your life that are out of whack. You say, merciful God, I confess that I have sinned against you in my thoughts, words, and deeds, by the things I've done, the things I've left undone. I've not loved you with my whole heart. I've not loved my neighbor as myself. I'm truly sorry. I humbly repent. Restore me to my sense of joy, to my sense of salvation. It's a practice that tells God what God already knows, that we don't have our lives together, that sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we don't know exactly where we put things, at least I don't. And it's an opportunity for us to open ourselves up to receiving God's mercy, to being forgiving not only of others, but also of ourselves. If God can offer us forgiveness, surely we can offer that to ourselves, not only in the small and mundane moments when we lose our keys, but as a practice that shapes our life, so that not only in our families, but also in our community of faith, we can be a community that practices honesty and mercy and forgiveness. I hope tonight will be a fruitful conversation as you engage the topic.